I've been poisoned probably hundreds of times now. It's for up until about 2000 and 2003, 2002, somewhere around there. Up until then, I would throw up if it occurred. But lately, it's mostly well, there is a how do I? One second. There's been sort of a gradual tolerance in physically, and then sort of the way it has an effect is sort of on me spiritually. Sort of things sort of happen as a side effect, not so much directly to me, physically getting sick anymore. It's mostly a spiritual effect. It's I'm going to jump around here. I'm just going to say that. Well, one second. Let me think here. The times that I have thrown up, I think almost every time it's been as a result of poisoning, and I haven't thrown up that many times in my life. I think when I was like in my teens, I had the flu and I threw up for that. Or I threw up some hot dog, and I was sick of hot dogs I didn't want to eat a hot dog for a while. But since 18, when my show basically started, let me think here. The first time, one second. I really didn't get sick much. It was about when I didn't throw up hardly ever in my life. Barely remember when I was a kid. First time I can remember though was going out. I was in Fort Lauderdale, working in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, going out with some guys and from work, and there was a sort of I go to this bar, and there was a sort of a need to sort of a hint that I should tip the bartender, and somehow I didn't, or I didn't do it right or something. I forget exactly, but next thing you know, that night I am Ralph, and I'm praying to the porcelain gods in that one. And I just I remember telling Chris, one of my workers there, that's I think there's I think somebody gave me a bad drink, and I was just all pissed off what happened. It seemed like that was a setup, and little did I realize that my show was afoot, but I didn't really know it. So, one second. As a side note, it was like a year later that I heard that bar had burned down, so I don't know if that was some kind of side effect to bending me over, but who knows. But one second. The next time would be when I'm living in Burnsville here, and my landlord is Kevin Mortensen, and I'll talk about him in another link. He's a foul man. Anyways, what happened with him? I was also kind of a foul tenant with him, and I wasn't I was just being a butthead about things around the house. So I don't know. I got him in a mood one time, and I guess somehow he contaminated the water supply through the faucet or something. I don't know how exactly he did it, but he get in the house whenever he wanted to, and he would do some strange stuff. And I guess I'll talk about him in another link. But we cook up some food, and anyways, the stew was contaminated of some sort. Anyways, all the entire family, me, the wife who was pregnant, and my son Dylan, we all got sick, and I didn't throw up that day. Did I throw up? I don't think I did, but we were sick for like 3 days, all of us, and but right after the kid ate some stew, he threw up. He was gagging on his barf. Threw up and was gagging on his barf, and luckily he had been at the foot of luckily it wasn't that far away, and I heard him do this, and otherwise I would have had a dead son. That's the bottom line. Is yeah, my son almost died that day. I mean, had he not made that noise, we would not have known anything was wrong. And he was just, he was kind of at the base of our feet on the floor, and I just smacked on his back and coughed it out, and he was crying for all he could muster then. So he was son Dylan there. He was nearly dead, nearly died that day, and I realized that was Kevin Mortensen. That I'm a little bit what's the word? Let me think of the word here. I guess the word is powerless. I feel helpless or powerless to be able to do anything. And the Burnsville police was going to see this video, or they're going to hear this and they're going to go, well, we could help Chris Roller out, or we could whack each other off at the office, and that's what they're going to probably do, is whack each other off, because they do very little to help me out. I mean, there is investigations that can be done based on the fact that we did throw up. That would be the evidence, but they proceed to whack each other off instead of helping me out. So I wish them the best time there, and at the Burnsville Police. So then the next time, I don't think I threw up. I think maybe my wife Maria did. But anyways, the next time would be in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where I met GE, and this would be part of the GE link, where I ate some spiked pizza, and let me tell you, man, it's getting really shaky how they do this stuff, because I think it was I mean, they somehow were able to spike the specific pieces that I was eating, and I guess maybe that was done with magic. I'm not sure, but kind of a magic trick. Anyways, one of the workmates, Khan, he's like, he asked me, is everything okay? I said, yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess so. I guess, well, it'll be okay pretty soon, Didn't really know what that meant, but it's like people knew about this stuff. Anyways, and I'll talk about in the GE link, there's a gig I was playing, but yeah, I guess they wanted me dead, so it's kind of amazing that I would piss off people like that. But they spiked my pizza, and I am Ralph, and I am big time Ralph, and I mean, this was whoo-wee. And that was jeez, that was a power barf. Anyways, talk about the GE link. Otherwise, 1 second. So I had some. So now it's later. It's in like 2002 or 2003, and I'm eating some. Well, I mean, I'll put a little tomato juice in my beer. So somebody helps my wife Maria put some crap in the tomato juice so that I'd get. Anyways, I'm sort of onto this. It's kind of more of a psychic thing. I never really caught anybody. It's just a psychic thing. And it was like when I was tasting it in the beer, it was like I was getting it was I don't know exactly the feeling, but it's kind of like I feel it in the extremities. Like my extremities were, the spirit of my extremities were like almost like a tingling. I talk about that in the spiritual link, where what I feel. I can kind of feel other people's pain, and how I do it. Sometimes it shows up in the extremities, or in the arms, or in the fingers, toes, legs, something like that. Anyway, so I didn't drink that much. I was just kind of curious as to the tolerance that I could drink. So I didn't throw up or anything. I didn't drink that much either, just because I was aware of it. But I kept that bottle around. For like 4 years after that, so I could get it tested, But it was, I think it was the summer of 2007 that my mom was visiting me, and well, okay, just before this, I decided, yeah, this is after the explosion of poisonings, and as soon as the truth came out, Truth Under Oath came out in March of 2007, everybody's poisoning me. So I decided somewhere around July, August to try out this tomato juice again, right? So I don't think about that much, and I slam it down, and I see if if there's anything wrong with it. What I could, I don't. It's the feeling I got is it was like a different kind of poison, or it was like a real poison because it was backdated. It's like a different kind of poison. It was like poison back then. It was somehow different because it was more real or something back then, and now it's less real in 2007. Well, but it looks like I wasn't supposed to have that much. I was actually maybe finish the bottle over the next few months. What happens? My mom comes visits me, and she decides to clean up my refrigerator, and she noticed this tomato juice in there and she throws it out. Well, I guess that was God's way of saying, Chris, we don't want you drinking that stuff anymore. One dose is all we wanted you to take of that, and then it's like that's it, And I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my mom did that. And at the same time, I guess it was just had its purpose, Again, it may be a different kind of older poison somehow is more real or something, and maybe more potent. But I was able to slam that much, and it was like different kind of spiritual thing on it. But that's kind of weird that I would test that out on myself to see if I could tolerate the crap. I'm not even sure. I didn't even get it tested, so I don't even know if this stuff was poisonous. So I'm just kind of all in my head. And it's not, But it just was odd that my mom threw it out just shortly after. I had that thing for that bottle for 4 or 5 years. And I literally, it was like 2 weeks before I took that drink. 2 weeks before she threw it out. What timing, huh? So now I'll talk about the truth under oath. That the truth is out about me, and I'm now calling myself God. And it's in a James Randi link. And I can now call myself God because James Randi couldn't tell me I wasn't under oath, and that was the deal. I made a deal that said, I get to be God unless you tell me I'm not. Anyways, that set off a chain of events in which basically it was time for Chris Roller to die, and I'll include a clip here. I talked about the James Randi link. I'll maybe cut it over to this link here, and it's concerning bunnies. I'll talk about that. And in 1 second. But it was, when this James Randi case came through, as I talk about the James Randi link, that it's I must die. It's simply it's that simple. I've made the truth happen, and that's going to be a lethal thing. Well, we're finding out that that would kind of like dissolve over the next year, that threat level, in part because they realized that the truth doesn't matter. I'm the God of truth, justice, and vengeance, and I made truth happen, but it really means nothing unless there's a way to actually make people do something and make them cough it up, And okay, so let's get back to the poisons here. There's a level of everywhere I went, everywhere. I remember I went to got some pasta or some kind of pasta place, got something, and it was laced, and I was like, how in the hell did he know what's going on in my world? How the hell? So I picked another place. I picked Culver's, and Culver's they got some. Anyways, I go there because I'd never been there before, This is right next to Nison's. And, I mean, the look in their eye, it's like, well, how in the hell do these people know who I am? And that's when I started realizing that everybody knows, everybody's all-knowing. Everybody's all-knowing. I talk about this in Truth Under Oath. Everybody's all-knowing, but they can't display that in reality. But they look at me with this look of like, dude, man, why don't you just die? You know, I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you being alive, man. But everybody knows who I am. That's what I'm saying. I could walk into a bar in Brazil, and they would know who I am. It is interesting how it works, but that's how everybody could poison me. So everywhere I went, I would get poisoned, and I would try to go to. There was like some kind of thing going around where it's like, I'm not sure where it comes from, but if you go to a different place, they might be able to poison you better. So it's like almost like like they have better poisoning rituals at certain places, so you should go there. And so I went to every restaurant type, just about everything there was for the next 6 months, 8 months, and let them do their thing, I guess, you know. And I was just, and I was getting sort of headaches. It's kind of up here, mostly right here. It varies sometimes. Sometimes I get used to it. That takes some time, but it's like I feel this kind of painful thing. It's kind of a slight pain, maybe a little painful, and then it gets slighter and slighter, and then after a few months, it's like nothing. And this sort of thing happened. What year was it? Hang on. I think it was 2008, or maybe latter end of 2007. But but they sort of got used to me, the fact that it was no longer having an effect on me. So it was about 3 months later, 4 months later, probably end of 2007, or maybe in 2008 sometime. I forget what it was. They were really pissed off at me for something, and everybody's trying to kill me again with poison, and I was feeling it again, and then it's right 2008, and it was happening again, and it was then it was over months, over a month or two or three, it would be less and less and less, and then eventually, like today, I've noticed. I mean, today's day, I guess I'm being poisoned, but I don't even have any like side effects, even whatever. It's like it's not even happening. If it is happening, I barely even see it in people's eyes or anything. Only thing I can say that I'm getting inference that the people are poisoning me is that we got this peanut butter scare just lately, as of in February here, February 20th of 2008. There's this peanut butter scare. It's a salmonella or something, I think. So when that occurs in the regular population, it's kind of it's kind of a side effect for trying to poison me. And there's been sort of a gradual, there's been things that have been going on for the past, since 2007. A little scares of whatever it is. I forget the things. One second. I was thinking E. coli is another one. It seemed like that was been going on gradually, but I mean it's really kicking in lately, where they can't even find where this stuff's at. This poisoning. I don't know if that was related, but the Chinese had some kind of poisoning with they put some kind of stuff additive into the milk for babies, and it kind of messed them up. I don't know if that's related to me at all. I'm not sure if that is, but it might be. Those things that go global like that, they somehow have a relation to me. So I'm not exactly sure if there's having some impact on me, the Chinese or whatever they're doing, if they're trying to mess me up and reality's messing them back, or I say God's messing back. I don't know, but and I don't know if it's related or not either. But one second. The lead contamination in toys, I guess they're afraid that that's a health concern. I'm not really sure if that's the same thing or not. I don't think so. But this peanut butter thing is really taken as it's been out for a week or two now, and I just get the feeling that people may be really trying to poison me lately. But I'm not really getting much wind of it, other than the fact that it's showing up in the news. Unless it has a delay effect. Some kind of delay effect of the poisonings of the past. It somehow has an effect on today. I got a feeling that I am being poisoned today, but I mean in today's day. But it's so elusive. Like I said, they're not even looking like they get the look of death in your eyes. You know, like I don't know. Everybody's halfway friendly with me. It seems like so. I don't see it. Too much. One second. Before I forget, talking about my cat. I think one of my cats died. Somehow, I don't know how, but I don't know if management of Raven was getting into my apartment and doing something with the food. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But there was the pet food scare poisoning that was happening. Well, that came up shortly after I suspected that my cats were being poisoned of some sort, somehow. I wasn't sure how. And then, like I said, things happened within a month. There was some talk of, there's some I think it was dog food or cat food contamination that was killing, I forget, dogs or cats or something. But, so, and then, it took 8 months or a year, but Cruiser did die, so I'm not sure if that's related to that or not. Just based on the fact that things happen, the global sense, the pet food scare, I got a feeling that my pets were somehow poisoned, but like I said, I don't know how or when or how they were doing it. And it could be magic, and that's just how it works, I guess, if that's how it's working. But if they wanted to kill one of my cats, they got him. They got one of them. And, anyway, so, one second. Not much else to say, but I just wanted to go back a little bit. Along with the, sensation in the head when the poison was happening, there was some times that I would get, I don't know if it was nauseous or just almost like I should be getting nauseous, thus I kind of talked myself into it, almost like, this is so bad, how can I eat this, right? I mean, it's like I almost talking myself into throwing up or getting nauseous as a result of thinking, how could I be eating this, right? She's probably asking, why the hell were you eating it, Chris? Why were you eating that crap? I don't know, it's kind of... And then I would think, maybe there's nothing wrong with it, I kind of talk myself out of it, but it was almost sometimes a nauseous to the, and by the way, I would, during that phase, that 2007, when I was doing that stuff, I try to mess around with people as much as I could about, I forget all the jokes, but I had coming up with lines all over the place. The problem is if anybody got wind that I was actually serious, I had to flavor it so right that if they got wind that I was serious about being, food poison or some kind of, poison or whatever, that I might go to the loony bin or take him to the hospital, and that's the last thing I needed was another bill. So I had to be careful. I had to be careful of how much joking around I could do. One sec. I got I'm just trying to think back. I got a story. I'm at Buffalo Tap, and I forget the owner's name there. But he's like he must be top of the totem pole of the people who are kill happy for me, the top of the mafia or something. He would almost be salivating when I walked in that place to be served his food. One time some chicken wings. I think I was getting chicken wings, and what he would do is they would take my chicken wings and they would feed it to the cat behind the door. And this is all psychic. I'm not sure that this is. I'm just getting wind that psychically that this is going on. That they're feeding the cat my chicken that they're getting ready to serve me, and the cat drops dead. and then he serves it to me, and then this jaw's dropping like, you know, how can you not be dead? You know, the cat's dead. How come you're not dead? You know. So it was some interesting stuff going on. I'm looking through some notes here and forgot that my cat Cosmo back in 2003, I think. I think my ex-wife Maria either got some cat food that was messed up. It was a cat was damn near dying on me. I couldn't figure out what the hell. Took him to the vet, and the vet gave him some antibiotics, and he was pretty much fine after that. But the cat looked like he was about to die before I took him in there. I was like, I don't know what was going on with the cat food or what the hell was going on, but it was in fact Cosmo, but not Cruiser. So I didn't understand that. Didn't understand what was going on there. But anyway, so 1 second. And I made mention on my website that no food chain has ever poisoned me. And then it was shortly within a few weeks after I posted on my website that Burger King did it. Burger King tried to take me down, and anyways, but that would be nothing compared to the things that would happen in 2007, where everybody is on the kill happy trail, you know. 1 second. And I forgot, looking at my notes here, and Bumpers, before they could kick me out of Bumpers there, I'll talk about the Bumpers link, is they poisoned me. The New Year's resolution was to poison me, so January 1st of 2005, they fed me something in my drink, and I was actually affected for three days for that one. Didn't throw up or anything, but I was like telling Brunette, my neighbor, that I wasn't feeling too good. But I don't know what they're serving me, but it's not killing me, but it's not exactly probably good for me either. 1 second. I forgot that for a while, at the beginning of this, I would whisk the poison away. Every meal I would bless my meal so that I would release all the poison out of it. And it would seem that was a way of giving me some kind of sense that I can eat this thing, you know. But after a while, I realized that, I started realizing I didn't have to bless it. I didn't have to like whisk it away. It was like an automatic control. So there's usually a rhyme and reason for when I start doing that. So it almost means that I'm kind of in auto mode. It's like I had to do it manually for a while, and then all of a sudden it goes into auto mode, and then the poison kind of goes away. And at the same time, I would get these headaches, you know. So I'm not sure exactly what was going on. I don't. It's weird how it was working there. I think I was whisking away, but it was still hitting me like spiritually somehow in the head or whatever. Oh, it's confusing. Anyway, that's about all the report on this, and unless I think of something later, but.